third segment, it is, of course, going to play off the second segment I just talked about, which was power rankings in the National League. So the only right thing to do here now is talk about power rankings in the American League. So yeah, haven't changed that much from the last time. There are some injuries that I wanted to talk about, which is why I have some teams where they are. Yankees, hint, hint. But yeah, I want to talk about the AL and the power rankings, and super excited to get into it. So here we go. First, at number 15, no surprise, it is the Oakland Athletics. Now, it was a big debate between them and the number 14 team to put them at 15, but I went with the A's. They have nothing going for them. They have like zero good players. I'm really confused with how they're gonna win any games this year. I don't know what to say about the A's. They're really, really bad. Yeah, not much to say about them. They're not good. That's kind of it. So, yeah, not a fan of the A's this year. I don't think anyone is. They don't really have any pieces at all that you could build upon. I mean, Brent Rooker was okay, and that's kind of it. Yeah, not really looking forward to the A's this season, especially with all the turmoil in their organization as well. Who knows if they're going to even be the Athletics for that much longer. So that's why I had them at 15, and that's why I had the number 14 team, the White Sox, there. The White Sox, at least you can see stuff is building around. You can see they have a clear vision. They have nice complementary pieces, most notably Luis Robert. This is a guy I think is a franchise player. One of the better center fielders in the league. I think is really, really good, and I think is a franchise cornerstone. I think the White Sox were right not to trade him, and I think once they get back to relevancy, whenever that is, he's going to be the guy they build around. So that's why I have him at 14 and not 15. They're still bad, don't get me wrong, but you can at least see some pieces there. You can see you can see the building blocks of the organization. So I don't think they're as bad as the A's or even on that level, but I still think they're really bad, and that's why I do have them at number 14 here. They also have some other nice pieces there, like Eloy Jimenez. They traded for Michael Soroka, who I think is a nice bounce-back candidate. Some other nice players as well on that team. I think Martin Maldonado was a nice signing for the young pitching staff. Really high on Drew Thorpe and Greg Crochet, seeing what they can do. So there's a lot of pieces there for the White Sox. They're still bad, but there's still some things there that you really can't see with other bad teams, most notably the A's. Also the Rockies, but that was the NL. I don't like the Rockies, if you can't tell. 13 here, we have the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Now, the Angels have some things brewing here. I do think that. I like some of the young hitters they have on the roster. Logan O'Hoppe, Zach Neto most notably. Nolan Shanuel is really nice as well. Mickey Moniak had a nice bounce-back season. So there's a lot going for them on this roster. The thing is, just altogether, the team, I mean, the lineup has a lot of question marks. The pitching staff, of course, is not that good, as it's always been with the Angels. So that's why I do have them here as the 13th best team. Again, they're not absolutely horrible, absolutely awful like the A's are, but because you can see some of the core coming in, you can see some of the guys coming in, but they're still not a good team. They didn't win that many games last year with the best player in baseball. Now with the best player in baseball leaving, what's going to happen there? So I don't think they're going to be that good, and that's why I have them at 13. But again, I can see the pieces coming in. So if everything performs well, maybe they'll be higher. At 12, I have the Cleveland Guardians. The Guardians just perplex me with what they're trying to do. Their pitching staff's pretty good, but their hitting is just so bad. Of course, you have Jose Ramirez. You have Andres Jimenez, who's a nice player. But after that, there's not much. You have Bo Naylor, a catcher, who's a nice developmental piece. But you just sent down Colin Manzardo. Like, he's one of your better power hitters on the roster already, and you sent him down to the minor leagues to flip his service time. I understand that that's what they want to do as a small market team, but still, just if you're trying to win, why would you send him down? I don't understand. So it's clear to me that they aren't trying to win that hard. I don't think they're that good. I don't think there's a lot of pieces on this team that can really perform for them, really big parts of their team. So yeah, that's why I do have them at number 12. But again, they're not horrible. It's just they're super boring. There's really nothing going for them. Their pitching staff's nice, but they've already had some injuries to it. I don't think Shane Bieber will be here past the trade deadline. Interested to see how Tristan McKenzie does perform. So nice pieces, but just overall a super boring team, and that's why I do have them ending up at 12. I think they're pretty neck and neck with the 11 team as being really boring and kind of in their this tier of their own, as not the worst teams in the league, but not that good. In the Boston Red Sox, the Red Sox might have been a little above this, but they lost Lucas Giolito, and their pitching staff is just not doing right now. Sorry for moving around again. It is just I don't think I do. I'm trying to work on it, but yeah, if you're watching a video and you see me moving around, that's why. But yeah, they're just really boring, the Red Sox. I don't know what to say here. Could they add Jordan Montgomery? Sure. Would that make them better than teams above this list? No. But they have some pieces, I guess. Brian Bayo's super good. You've heard my acclaim for him, how much I love him as a prospect and as a player. Rafael Devers is really good, of course, franchise guy. That's kind of it. Like, you got a lot of young players, but they haven't come up yet. So the Red Sox, for me, are kind of just like the Guardians, super boring, just not a team I'm interested in at all. So, yeah, it's kind of it. That's why they're number 11. Didn't even crack the top 10. What a fall from grace for the Red Sox. 2021 had that great season. It's just been downhill from there. They could have spent on a lot of guys. Tell me you couldn't have gave that Snell contract. I don't understand why you haven't signed Jordan Montgomery yet as well. So, yeah, not great for them if you're a Red Sox fan with how boring I do think they are. So, not great. Again, they're not even that bad. It's just they're boring. So that's why they are here at number 11. Number 10, I have one of the surprising teams of the entire offseason with the moves they made, the Kansas City Royals. Now, the Royals made a lot of good moves, in my opinion. I think most notably signing Seth Lugo was a great move. I think Michael Wacha was a great complementary piece to that rotation. I think Hunter Renfroe was a good piece of the lineup. Adam Frazier's fine depth, I guess. Bobby Witt Jr., of course, great extension there. So the Royals have a lot of pieces. It's just putting it together. I don't think this is going to be their year to really compete. Yes, Bobby Witt Jr., great player. Vinny Pasquantino, great. Michael Garcia, going to be okay. But MJ Melendez, fine. But overall, the bullpen's kind of worrisome. Pitching staff, while is okay, there are some question marks there. So definitely an interesting season for the Royals. They could be much better than this, but I think there just are simply a lot better teams than them. I think they're a good team, but overall in the landscape of the AL and especially the AL Central, I just don't think they're going to be doing that much. So that's what I'm looking out for them here. Number 9, I have their AL Central counterpart, the Detroit Tigers. Now, I love what the Tigers did this offseason, maybe even more than the Royals. I love the Jack Flaherty signing. I thought it was a little expensive, but it's a one-year deal, so it's fine. I like the Urshela signing. I like the Marcana trade, bringing a nice veteran DH to that young lineup. I think that was really nice. Other than that, I think the Shelby Miller was a good signing for the bullpen. Bringing back Andrew Chafin was nice as well. So I think there were a lot of nice moves made by the Tigers this offseason. I think they're really high in this young core they have, including guys like Spencer Torkelson, who I think once he finds his groove in the major leagues will be a beast. Riley Green has been really, really good, and I think he's going to continue that. Parker Meadows, a nice guy coming up. Kerry Carpenter as well. Pitching staff is great as well. I think Tarek Skubal is going to be a dark horse Cy Young candidate. Casey Mize coming back from injury is going to be good. So I think overall this Tigers team has a lot going for it. I think they could be really good. The AL is tough. That's why I have them at 9. But again, I think that's more indicative on how good the AL is than them. I like the fact that they're trying and they're not just throwing the seasons away like the Tigers of the past might have. So excited for them and excited for their fan base to finally see a winning product on the field. After that, at number 8, we have, surprisingly, the defending world champion Texas Rangers. Now, this was a tough decision for me because I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt as they are the defending world champions. I mean, I doubted them all last year. I had them lose to the Rays in the first round, and then they beat them in 2 and then went to the World Series. So I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I just couldn't. This pitching staff for me, man, it does not do it. Nathan Eovaldi, John Gray, Andrew Heaney, Dane Dunning, they're fine guys, but are they really going to repeat last year? I don't think so. Max Scherzer's out for a long time. So is Jacob deGrom. They're both older, so they probably will take a little more longer time rehabbing. So I don't like the fact they haven't added a starting pitcher yet. I mean, they say Cody Bradford's going to be in the starting rotation, which just not what you want for his title defense. So I think Dylan Cease would have made them a lot better team if they were able to pull the trigger on that. But they unfortunately weren't. So what can you do about that? But I think the hitting talent is just incredible. That's why they're not lower. Of course, Wyatt Langford, Evan Carter, great in the outfield. Adolis Garcia as well. Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, of course. Josh Young, Nathaniel Lowe, Jonah Heim. Like, there's such great hitting talent. Overall, I don't believe in the pitching, and that's why they are 8th. I think there's a lot of good teams in the AL, and that's kind of also why they're a little lower. But I think it is just mainly their pitching staff. After that, we have number 6, the Toronto Blue Jays. The Blue Jays, I just skipped over an entire team. That's my fault. At 7, I have the Rays. The Rays are a good team, but there's a lot of injuries and a lot of question marks about this team, mainly the pitching staff. Because of the injuries, I don't know how you're going to mainly pick up all that value. I mean, Shane McClanahan is an amazing pitcher. Jeffrey Springs was great. Drew Rasmussen was great, and they're all out. So these are all guys that were big parts of the Rays core, big parts of their team, and I just don't know if they're going to be able to replicate them in the ways that they usually can because they are the Rays. Ryan Pepio, Taj Bradley, guys like that, really good. Zach Eflin, really good. Aaron Savali, good. But I think going into the depth of the season is kind of thin. And as much as the Rays have magic as they have every year, I don't know if that's going to happen this year. Shortstop situation you have to figure out as well. So I think there's a lot of question marks about this Rays team, and that's why I have them as 4th in the AL East. I don't think they're bad. I just think there's a lot of good teams in the AL. The team I have above them is the team I talked about right before by accident, which, of course, is the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, the Blue Jays have a lot going for them. I think their pitching staff's pretty great. I like the additions of Turner, of IKF, of bringing back Kevin Kiermaier. Yariel Rodriguez is a good addition to the pitching staff in whatever way they decide to use them. So I think there's a lot going for them. I just think it's overall just them, all the players and the entire team putting it together, living up to their potential. I mean, they should be so much better than they are, but Vladdy had a down season last year. There's been some stuff going on with the organization. Kevin Gausman started the season injured, so that's another negative factor. But I still love the pitching staff and the amount of sheer talent they have on it. I think the hitting core is pretty great. So overall, excited to watch them. I think they have a good team, and that's why I have them in a playoff spot here. At 6, I have the Seattle Mariners. I think the Mariners are an incredible team, and that's why I have them at number 5. I think this is the year they finally put it together, maybe go deep into the playoffs. Julio Rodriguez obviously is the franchise cornerstone, but you added guys around him, which is nice. You started off the season weird, but off-season weird. We thought they're going to subtract and kind of get rid of money, but they signed Mitch Garver, who was a nice addition to the DH position. Jorge Polanco was a nice addition to third base. I like the pitching staff they have, of course, it's incredible with all the young talent. Luis Castillo, their ace leading them. So I think the Mariners have a lot going for them, and I think they're a really great team, and that's why I have them top 5. Number 4, I have the AL Central winners, in my opinion. Twice now it's going to be if they do win, the Minnesota Twins. I love this team. They did lose a lot this offseason, yes, mainly Sonny Gray, but they have a lot of guys who are going to come up and fill in that position. Guys who didn't get a chance years before, like Chris Paddock, Louis Varland, Simeon Woods Richardson, guys like that. So I think there's a lot of depth in this Twins team. I think they're really, really good. And I think if Correa and Buxton bounce back, they could even be better than number 4. So we'll see. But yeah, I love this Twins team. Love what they got going for them. And I think they're really, really good going into the year. Now, the top 3 are the 3 teams I think are elite. And I kind of have bunched together. But I'll tell you the specific order I have them in. Number 3 is the Baltimore Orioles. Number 2 is the New York Yankees. And number 1 is the Houston Astros. So the reason I have the Astros above the Yankees and the Orioles is for injury reasons. Now, you're going to say, well, Sam, yes, the Yankees lost Cole, and the Aaron Judge situation is weird, and the Orioles lost Kyle Bradish, yes. But didn't the Astros lose Verlander and Urquidy? Yes, they did. But I think the Astros have the depth to withstand it. Hunter Brown, J.P. France, Christian Javier, Framber Valdez, I think are all great. I think they have some other guys coming up who are going to be in more higher positions in this rotation. And also, I don't think Verlander or Urquidy are going to be out that long. I think Cole is going to be out at least 2 months, probably more. So that's why I have the Astros above them. I didn't have them above the Yankees before the injury. Same with the Orioles before the Kyle Bradish injury. But I think there's a lot of questions with those pitching staffs, and I think the Astros have it managed more. I think the lineups are all pretty much equal. I think they're all really good. The Orioles, of course, the younger team, going to be the future of the AL. Yankees, we'll see what happens with the new addition of Soto. Astros added Hader, which is a huge addition to the back end of that bullpen. Brian Abreu to Ryan Presley to Josh Hader is just absolutely incredible, and I think that's another one of the reasons I have him here as the number 1 team. So Orioles, Yankees, Astros can really be in any order, in my opinion. But I have them as Astros, Yankees, Orioles. And again, if you have Orioles, Astros, Yankees, Yankees, Orioles, Astros, anything like that is fine with me. But that's the way I have them, and I just think overall these three teams are the top three teams in the AL and are pretty elite. So that was our third segment, talking about some AL power rankings. We're going to go into our fourth segment here, which is going to be about some general news stories around the league, usually how I do end it. So we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about what's going on in the league, and we'll see you after that. So thanks.